We're in boost mode, and we're just gonna roll nice and fast into this hill. So just for fun here, I'm gonna go into pulse mode, and honestly, it feels like the motor is giving me resistance instead of help in zone 5. This is the all-new Tempo from Velotric. It's their lightweight, more traditional looking electric bike, and lots of awesome things to see on a lightweight model, like a removable battery, hybrid tires for street riding or maybe some light gravel riding, a thumb throttle for easy access to power when you need it, brand name components that are nicer than other e-bikes that we see at this price, and then a lot of the new features we're starting to see Velotric standardize across their lineup. In this review, we'll walk around the entire bike. I'll show you every single component. We'll go deep into the customization and settings and walk through the display. We'll also install some of the optional accessories that make the Tempo fully commuter ready. We'll explore all those features on the road in our riding footage, and we'll talk all about this heart rate monitor and how it interacts with the bike. And then we'll wrap things up, as always, with some pros and cons and my overall thoughts. But before all that, let's take a closer look. So Velotric as a company has been growing so fast. That's evident in all the new models and all the new features that we're seeing them roll out. Now there's over 1,200 bike shops in their dealer network, which means they're an omni-channel brand. Yes, you can get the doorstep delivery if that's more convenient, but it's also likely you can find a shop near you for test rides, buying bikes fully assembled, and in-person support. The launch price for the Tempo is $14.99, but if you want up-to-date pricing, you can scan the QR code on screen or find an affiliate link down in the description. Also, if you plan on picking up a model from Velotric, remember we have a discount code down in the description, and if you use one of our links when you go to make a purchase, it does support content like this. Thank you so much for your support. So the big selling point here is, of course, the weight. It's advertised at 39 pounds with the battery, 34 pounds without the battery. We have the large frame here, which weighs in at 42 pounds with the battery on our scale, 37 pounds without, but still very easy to pick up even with one hand. Also great to see you can choose between 2 different frame styles. There are 3 different color options. Both frames are available in Forest Evergreen, but if you go with the high step, you can get it in Lightning Silver. Both frame styles come in 2 sizes, regular and large, but the sizing is different, so pay attention to the geometry chart. This is the large frame for the low step option. The standover height measures out right around 20 inches, so nice and easy to step through. Now, this fits riders from 5'3" up to 5'11". I am a 6'1" rider with a 32-inch inseam, but with the seat at its minimum insertion point, I'm actually getting pretty close to full leg extension. But the high step frame is probably more appropriate for me. We also had Ryan's wife, Allie, hop on this bike to show off a shorter rider, and she was able to get a comfortable fit. Starting with the brakes, we have 2-piston hydraulic disc brakes from Shimano paired with 180mm rotors with the same setup on the back. The tire attaches with a through axle. The tires are from Kenda. They are 700 by 42C. You can see it has a smooth road tread in the middle to be stealthier on pavement. Then you have some more tread on the outside, making this a mixed terrain tire. It has a rigid fork with mounting points on the side, Velotric badge up front, and then an adjustable stem with 60 degrees of adjustment. Velotric's new 500 lumen IPX6 rated headlight up front. Seat stay integrated rear lighting that is brake actuated and includes turn signals. Then to the handlebars, we have Shimano brake levers with motor cutoff, lock-on ergonomic rubber grips, an 8-speed Shimano trigger shifter on the right, an included bike bell, a left side mounted thumb throttle. There's a USB-C port here for charging devices. Then we have the small left-hand mounted display with integrated controls, Velotric on startup. And for the controls, you have your turn signal controls here, your menu button, pedal assist up and down, and you have your back button or your clasp button. We'll go over that in a sec. To turn your lights on, hold pedal assist up for a few seconds, indicator at the top. And to engage walk mode, you need to be in a pedal assist level, and you hold pedal assist down for a few seconds. You'll get about just shy of 3 miles per hour of assistance. Press this bottom button to go back. And then for the display, upper left-hand corner, you have your battery readout with percent. In the upper right corner, you have your time. Front and center, we have our speed in miles per hour. And then on the right side here, we have our basically the state of our riding mode. You can see what class you're in up top here, and to change that, it's a single click of this bottom button, class 1, 2, and 3. We now have 4 different riding modes to choose between: Eco, Trail, Sport, and Boost. And then at the bottom, you can see if you're riding with a torque sensor or cadence sensor. You'll see 6 different little dots at the bottom here. Those are the different screens you can cycle through. Just short press on the menu button to go to the next screen. First up, we have some trip information, trip distance, trip time, estimated range, CO2 saved. Next page, we have max speed, average speed, odometer, and total time. Then you can see in real time your motor and controller temp, your cadence RPMs, and calories burnt. Next, you get a breakdown of your rider effort versus motor effort. Here's where the heart rate monitor comes into play. You can see your real-time heart rate versus your average heart rate for the ride, and then you're back home. Now, to get into the advanced settings, you're going to hold down on the menu button for a few seconds. And first up, we have speed limit. So this is where you can change between your class as well. Class 1, 2, and 3, just use the turn signal buttons. Class 1, you're going to have a max speed of 20 miles per hour with pedal assist, and the throttle will be turned off. Class 2, you're going to have that max speed of 20 miles per hour, but that will turn on the throttle. And then Class 3, the throttle turns off again, but you will have a max speed of 28 miles per hour when pedaling. Next up, we have pulse mode. This will activate a smart level of pedal assist that will actually adapt to your heart rate. So we'll turn that on, turn on the heart rate monitor. All right, it's on, we're connected. So if we leave the menu here, you'll see that you'll have access to all those same pedal assist levels, but if you go one below off, that will be pulse mode. We'll explore that during the riding footage. You can turn cruise control on and off here. You can swap between your torque and cadence sensor here. Just note that if you have pulse mode on, you're going to be riding with a torque sensor. Then you have experience. This is a cool new feature that Velotric rolled out where you can actually change how the power engages. So you can have the introduction of power be slow, smooth, or go into turbo for a more aggressive introduction of power. And you can change that for your pedal assist or throttle. You can clear your trip data. This is where you can register your NFC cards and you can bind new ones. Connect to the app, we'll do that in a moment. You have Find My here. Heart Rate Connect is where you can connect this Bluetooth if you don't want to activate pulse mode and just have the heart rate monitoring. Rear light mode, you have 3 modes to choose between. If you don't want to hear that loud beep when your turn signals are on, you can turn it off here. Sensor calibration, this is where you can calibrate your torque sensor. Just follow the instructions, it's pretty straightforward. Then ride tuning, another new cool customization setting where you can go and affect every single riding mode and change the max torque, assistance, and assisted start is going to affect how aggressive the power introduction is, 1 being the most gentle and 5 being the most aggressive. Throttle sync is where you can set speed limits depending on the riding mode for your throttle, and you can have separate settings depending on if you're riding with a torque or cadence sensor. This is where you can set the time in military time. Then at the bottom you get version info so you can see if your bike's software is up to date. To exit the menu, just push the back button at the bottom and you're back home. But let's go ahead and connect to the app now. And once we have our bike paired, we can set up a user profile. In the upper right hand corner, you'll see a little stick figure type thing. Click on that and we'll go to the second option, which is user profile. This is where you can put in your gender, your age, your height, your weight, and then you can also kind of change your riding preference at the bottom here. So whether or not you like to ride fast or slow, what kind of terrain you're used to riding on, and then the riding scenario. Are you commuting? This is basically giving your bike information on how to customize your riding experience when you're in pulse mode alongside the heart rate monitor. So now back to the main screen, let's go into bike settings. Now, like I said, you can change most of these settings within the display, but sometimes it's nice to see the overall state of your settings all on one page. So we'll go through this pretty quick. You can change your riding mode at the top here. You can toggle pulse mode on and off. You can change between class 1, 2, and 3. Just remember, if you want to have the throttle active, you will need to be in class 2. Then you can change the experience for the pedal assist and throttle, whether you want slow or fast introduction to power. You can change throttle sync here too if you want to have speed limits depending on your riding mode for the throttle. You can swap between your torque and cadence sensor, your automatic timeout of the bike, screen brightness, ride tuning, which is actually a little bit easier to change within the app. We'll max out our boost mode so we can see what this bike is actually capable of when we go for our ride. You can turn on and off NFC card unlock here, and then you can delete any active cards. And then at the bottom, probably the biggest advantage is the firmware updates. Now I'm fully up to date here, but if you do need to update your bike, this is where you want to go. And then you can also track rides through the app. Just click start riding. It will record your ride then, and when you are done, or if you need to take a break, you press pause. And when you're ready to continue riding, you can click resume. Then you can hold to stop to end your ride. Then if you want to see all your rides, you can go to that profile icon in the upper right-hand corner. And right here you see my rides. You can track by day, week, month, or year. That's pretty much it for the app. And for graphics, Velotric on the down tube, Tempo on the seat stay, and Velo Power, 2 sets of mounting points up top. Perhaps for the best water bottle cage on the market that we sell at shop.ebikescape.com. This is the ABC water bottle cage. It ratchets so you can fit big and small water bottles in it. Just for reference, look at how much extra room there is. But you can ratchet it so tight that you can't even pull out the water bottle. You can find this and other high quality e-bike accessories at shop.ebikescape.com. Thank you so much for your support. And then this bike has keys, which means it has a removable battery. This is key for someone like me who lives in Wisconsin and needs to store their batteries inside during the winter. This is a 36 volt, 10 amp hour battery. It is certified to UL 2271 standards, and the bike's electronics are also certified to UL 2849. Velotric models also lead the industry in water resistance ratings. So the bike's electronics has an IPX6 rating and the battery has an IPX7 rating, which means this can literally take a bath. You dry it off, pop it in the bike, and it will still work. You'll also find a 5 LED pattern for a quick look at the battery's charge. The charging port for the battery is beneath this rubber cover. You can also charge the battery while it's installed on the bike via this port right here. Velotric also sends you a bunch of stuff to get you up and running. Let's open box number 1. This is where you're going to find your owner's manual. Also, they send you with all the tools you'll need for assembly. If you're curious about what it takes to assemble the Tempo, we do have a full unboxing video on this model that you can check out. Box number 2 is where you'll find the pedals. In box number 3 is where you're going to find accessories like reflectors and the heart rate monitor that I have on right now. And box number 4 is where you're going to find the included 2 amp charger. To install the battery, find the terminals, put that at the base of the cavity here, and give it a good squeeze, and you do not have to ride with the keys in the bike. The saddle is the 3D Groove saddle designed by Cell Royale, Velotric branded. It has a rear-mounted kickstand with a wide foot, so it should be good on soft ground. And then this is a 350-watt rear hub motor from Velotric and has 45 Nm of torque. That is, of course, paired with your choice of a cadence sensor or torque sensor, and you can swap that on the fly. We'll explore that in the riding footage in a moment. As for the drivetrain, we have a Shimano Acera derailleur on the rear, 11 to 40 teeth on the rear cassette, and a 46-tooth narrow-wide chainring. And then to keep down on weight, it does come as a blank canvas, so you're not going to find included fenders or a rack, but I do have them here to show you, so let's pop those on. So they are plastic fenders. You get full coverage in the rear, and the rack is capable of carrying 66 pounds and is MIC HD compatible. And if you're not familiar with MIC accessories, it stands for mounting is key. It's basically a quick, secure way to swap out accessories. The HD means it is compatible with child seats. And to demonstrate this, I have the Big Daddy trunk bag that we sell at our shop. To install, we're going to line this tab up with this here, put in the key, push that out, push down till you hear a click, and there we go. And then to release it, just use the key again. and it's off. All right, we have tons to cover. We're going to kick things off with a throttle only acceleration test. Now, just remember, you have the ability to quickly switch between class 1, 2, and 3 with this bottom button. And the only class you're going to have access to the throttle is going to be in class 2. And then for the riding experience, we are going to go into turbo so you can see the max capability of this throttle acceleration. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, throttle only. Pretty strong takeoff for a 350 watt motor. There's 10 miles per hour. There's 15, 16, 17. There we go, picking up some speed now. There's 18 on the GPS. And we're slightly going downhill. Will we hit 20 before the light? So pretty good acceleration up until about 15 miles per hour, then things really level out after that. So not crazy acceleration from the throttle, but having a throttle on a lightweight e-bike is not always a given, so it is nice to have that. I'm just curious to see how much of a difference does it actually make to go from turbo to slow power introduction in the experience settings here. So we have that set to slow, and 3, 2, 1, throttle. Oh, that's actually a much slower introduction, but then once you get up to about 5 miles per hour, it kicks in. So it's a nice feature to have for beginners if you don't want the bike to take off with too much power right out the gate. Next, I want to explore the different speed limits in each pedal assist level for the throttle. So I have the speed unlocked for torque mode. We're going to switch into the cadence sensor where I do have those speed limits set. And you can do this by going through the settings or in the app, or you can do it while you're riding as long as you're moving. If you hold this menu button, you can swap to the cadence sensor. There we go. And let's go down into Eco and just see what we got here. So very gentle power in Eco. But there we go. I felt the motor cut out right at 10 miles per hour. Let's go into trail. There we go. Looks like we got about 5 more miles per hour there. Let's go into sport. Looks like sport cuts out right about 17 miles per hour. And let's see what happens in boost. We should be able to get up to 20 miles per hour. So kind of the same thing. We're cutting out right around 17 miles per hour. There is a slight hill here. Now, if you're not familiar with a cadence sensor or a torque sensor, basically a cadence sensor is designed to give you consistent power. It's not measuring how hard you're pushing into the pedals. It's just reading whether or not you are pedaling, and if it registers your pedaling, it's going to introduce motor power. Now, the torque sensor is going to measure how hard you are pushing into the pedals, and you are going to get more power the harder you push into the pedals. Here you go, hold that menu button. There's the torque sensor. So we're just going to go over what easy pedaling gets you for speed in each level and what more effort will get you. But in 4th gear, easily pedaling, no problem getting 10 miles per hour. And if I shift up and push in a little harder, about 14, 15 miles per hour. Shift down, slow down, and go into trail. We can shift up here. And easy pedaling getting me about 12 miles per hour. Let's shift up. And with a little more effort, getting close to 20 miles per hour. So able to reach that class 2 max speed. And no doubt in boost is going to be even easier. And I did go into ride tuning and max everything out. So this is the max power this bike is capable of. And now let's talk quick about cruise control. It works very much like it would on a car. You can hold the bottom button or the class changing button in order to activate cruise mode. So just pedal at the speed you want to go. Hold that button down for a few seconds. And there we go. Now the bike will carry us at this speed. You'll see a little indicator at the top. To disengage, you can change your riding mode. You can pull on the brakes, or you can hit the throttle. As far as ride feel goes, I mean, this is a very rigid bike. The wide comfort saddle feels pretty comfortable. You can, of course, increase comfort by putting on something like a suspension seat post. I can link to the one that we sell at our shop down below in the description. We're just gonna see what our pedal cadence is once we get to the top speed. So let's get up to close to 28 miles per hour, top gear. There we go. Pushing into the pedals pretty good here. And it's kind of jumping between 60 and 100. It doesn't feel like I'm going quite 100 RPMs. The acceleration just slows down quite a bit at those top speeds, but you can still feel the motor is trying to get you there. So, and we made it to our test hill. We're gonna start out with a throttle only up the hill. I got a feeling that this bike is going to be happiest with some pedal support, but we'll roll into it and see how far up the hill we get. Now, this hill is absolutely massive. Do not let the GoPro footage fool you. It tends to flatten out hills a bit. But here we go, starting to get to the steep part of the hill, and instantly, not surprising with the 350 watt motor trying to carry my 200 pound bones up that hill. So this time what we're gonna do is start with pedaling in eco. I'm gonna drop down to the lowest gear, and we'll see. I'm gonna shift through the gears. Once my legs start burning pretty good, I'll go ahead and go to the next riding mode. Here we go, here's the steep part. I feel even in eco, a little bit of assistance here. Maybe could shift up to second gear. And yeah, there we go, feeling that burn. So let's go up into trail. Yep, instant boost there. And if I'm just taking my time up the hill, this is very doable. Wouldn't say I want to shift up though. So let's go up into sport. Felt a little bit extra push. Once again, want to stay in this lower gear. So in boost, max power. I'd say it's splitting the load pretty good. Starting to get a little winded. Here's the final push, and the hill is rounding out. And here we go. Guess I'm a glutton for punishment. We're going to hit that cadence sensor. There we go. We're in boost mode, and we're just gonna roll nice and fast into this hill. See what we got here. Shifting down. Shifting down again. Second gear. First gear, and just spinning my legs, putting a little effort in, feeling a tiny bit of burn. This is definitely easier than a traditional bike, but you will get a workout on this bike on hills. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about this heart rate monitor in pulse mode here. Now, what's great about this bike is it's so light that it's easy to pedal even without assist. So you don't really need that powerful of a motor unless you do live in a pretty hilly area. But this is a great bike for fitness-oriented people, and pulse mode just kind of takes it to the next level. But I have the heart monitor hooked up here, and if we go one pedal assist below off, that goes into pulse mode. And so each zone is going to be different heart rate zones. And you can actually see that on one of these screens here. So in zone 1, right now my heart rate is right around 80 beats per minute. I'm a little below my target heart zone, so I can only see green on the meter here. And if I push in a little harder, get my heart racing a little bit more. There we go. We see the meter starting to go into the blue as I get my heart up a little bit. My heart rate is at 124 and it's in the orange, so I'm going beyond my desired zone. So in zone 2, I feel quite a bit of support. I think they call this the calorie burning or fat burning zone. Zone 3, I feel that motor just give me a little bit more resistance. Zone 4, I feel it pull back even more, but I'm still fairly comfortably cruising in the 20s. And then zone 5, I feel just that little extra resistance yet. But what's great is you can leave pulse mode behind altogether. Just keep the normal control over the pedal assist levels. And then you have that screen where you can monitor your heart rate. So you can still see your average heart rate and your in the moment heart rate reading. So just for fun here, I'm gonna go into pulse mode. There's a little bit of a hill. Let's go into zone 5. And honestly, it feels like the motor is giving me resistance instead of help in zone 5. But if I pop into zone 1, there we go. That motor support just kicks right back in.
The Tempo is a truly unique lightweight offering that feels like a natural evolution of Velotric's T1ST Plus, which shares a similar frame style. You can see how the Tempo takes that foundation and pushes it further. On top of that, it benefits from those universal Velotric features we love: sensor swap, deep performance customization, class-leading water resistance, integrated tracking and security, and over-the-air firmware updates. And then you can take advantage of their massive dealer network for purchasing support and after-sales service. Now for the pros, first off, the Tempo absolutely nails the traditional bike aesthetic right down to the paint-matched battery cover. They also included features that a lot of brands skip on lightweight builds, like a removable battery, a throttle, and a mid-step and step-over frame option. And this is truly a lightweight e-bike. Our large frame still came in at just over 42 pounds with the battery and under 37 without. It's incredibly easy to lift, transport, and handle. When it comes to the ride, the customization is fantastic. Velotric has always been good about this, but the new ride tuning lets you completely tailor the power output to your liking across every standard riding mode. They've offered Apple Find My on their models for a while, but now Android users can get in on the integrated tracking with Android Find Hub. Plus, the included NFC cards adds a seamless layer of security. Just tap and ride. Pedaling on this bike is a genuine pleasure. The gearing is spot on, allowing you to stay connected to the pedals at top speeds while offering a bailout gear for easier hill climbs. And I love how quiet it is to ride this bike. The new hybrid tread lets you roll silently on pavement, and even with the slight boost in torque over the T1ST Plus, the motor sounds transparent. And then there's Pulse Mode, which is a really interesting take on how you can interact with an e-bike. Basically, it's like taking an exercise bike out into the wild. It keeps you hyper aware of your effort level by letting you target specific heart rates, and I'm actually curious to hear from you on this. What do you think of the heart rate monitor and the new Pulse Mode? Is this something that you would use? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, there are a few trade-offs to keep in mind. As a 200-pound rider, the throttle struggled to hit the max speed, and pedaling definitely took some work. Though when you do reach those speeds, you can feel the motor support holding you there. And you should expect to put in some effort on challenging hill climbs. I think they nailed the motor spec for a lightweight fitness bike, but if you want something lightweight that packs a little bit more punch and more range, you should check out their step-through commuter, the Breeze 1. And we have full reviews on every model in Velotric's lineup if you want to take a deeper dive. Then you have to remember pursuing a lightweight build also means it has a smaller battery. After pushing the Tempo to its limits on a 10-mile ride with big hill climbs, heavy throttle use, and sticking with high pedal assist levels, it was nearing 20% capacity at the end of the ride. Though you can absolutely extend that range if you stick to the lower pedal assist levels and put in your own effort. The included heart rate monitor is easy to pair and works well, but it has a little quirk. If you step out of Bluetooth range and come back, it doesn't auto reconnect. You'll have to dive back into the settings to reconnect it. Also, the Tempo has a rigid fork, so you're going to feel the bumps. Tossing on a suspension seat post is a great way to smooth that out. And lastly, if you order the optional rack and fenders, be aware that they arrive in pieces. You'll need to assemble everything before mounting it on the bike, and the installation process is a bit of a challenge on its own. Velotric does have a video tutorial, which unfortunately wasn't live when I installed ours, but if you aren't particularly handy, you may want to have a professional install them. Before we wrap things up, just a quick reminder, you can find our discount code in the description below if you're thinking about picking up the Tempo or another Velotric model, and using our affiliate link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen when you go to make your purchase is a huge way to support reviews like this one. Overall, I think Velotric did a phenomenal job creating a highly enjoyable lightweight e-bike. It's discreet and manages to avoid a lot of the compromises we typically see on lightweight models. If you're looking for a bike with deep fine-tuning that amplifies your effort without taking over the ride, the Velotric Tempo is a very welcome addition to the market. With that, I'm Miles with eBike Escape. Like and subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date on our reviews, but that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.